Welcome back. The second conversation cycle is recorded in chapters 15 through 21. So, do Job's interlocutors add anything new? How does Job respond this go-round? What evidence do you see of Job's increasing frustration? What evidence do you see of Job's unwavering trust in God? Well, Job's pastors hold on to the claim that the suffering is due to sin. That Job is still characterized as a sinful windbag. Look at chapter 15, verses 2 and 3. But watch what Eliphaz does. In verse 4, Eliphaz claims that Job's arrogant. He's being irreverent for even asking God for an explanation. And again, Job's just counseled to fess up. Well, look at chapter 16, verse 2. Job, I think, is getting fed up with this group of sorry comforters, and he turns the windbag epithet back on them. See, even though Job is being sorely tried by God, still, look at 16:19 through 22. God is his only hope. Even now, behold, my witness is in heaven. My advocate is on high. My friends are my scoffers. My eye weeps to God. Oh, that a man might plead to God as a man with his neighbors. For when a few years are past, I shall go the way of no return. Well, between the attacks of the adversary and the consolation of his friends, Job says, my spirit's broken. 17:1. And yet, Job engages in another round with his friends, starting in verse 10. Bildad accuses Job of, essentially, narcissism. And he repeats the charge that this is all because of Job's sin. Look at chapter 18, verse 5 and following. And then in chapter 19, Job, he's feeling harried and tormented by this trio. He's feeling wronged by God. And yet, look at 19:23. Oh, that my words were written. Oh, that they were inscribed in a book, that with an iron stylus and lead they were engraved in the rock forever. As for me, I know that my Redeemer lives, and at the last he will take his stand on the earth. Even after my skin is flayed, yet my flesh will see God, whom I myself will behold, and whom my eyes will see, not another. My heart faints within me. You see, Job climbs out of the valley of the shadow of death up to the summit based on the realization that his Redeemer is a living Redeemer. Job knows how the drama will end. It's true, there's not much direct attention to heaven and the afterlife in the First Testament as it is in the next. But here's a significant expression of an awareness of and a confidence in immortality. You see, toward the end of the first cycle of the conversation, Job asks God, if a man dies, will he live again? Remember 14:14? And so here in chapter 19, Job answers that question with conviction. I know that my Redeemer lives. And at the last, he will stand on the earth. And he says, my eyes will behold him, not another. By the way, back in 2 Samuel chapter 12, the reference there, I agree, could be oblique. It could refer to nothing more than David's realization that in time he too will die just like his baby son. But it's expressed there as a consolation that David would see his son again someday. And so I think it's a confession of immortality there as well. Well, back to Job. Job's hope, his confident expectation lay in someone outside himself, a living Redeemer. Well, in chapter 20, Zophar pushes back, and the tenor of his argument is captured in his summation in verse 29. This is the wicked man's portion from God, the heritage decreed for him by God. In chapter 21, Job counters Zophar's premise that the exalting of the wicked is short and the joy of the godless is but for a moment, by Job observes, that many a wicked person lives to an old age and dies in comfort, and their heirs reap the proceeds of their corruption. See, Job concludes that all three of his friends are talking gibberish. Verse 34. How then will you comfort me with empty nothings? There's nothing left of your answers but falsehood. Think about that. We'll see you in a bit.